Hello, everyone. Great to be seen by you. Um, we're starting our round of holidays, aren't we? Of course, we have done Thanksgiving. And it seems like that was about 3 days ago, I think. Uh, it seems like it at any rate. That's usually the beginning of the big celebration seasons of celebration. But with Thanksgiving coming up this week, tomorrow, as a matter of fact, I'm doing this on Thanksgiving Eve, this podcast. We really dive into the big hooplas, and also it's a big deal season for the church because we have not only Thanksgiving. That's not only a holiday. It should be a holy day for us too, because after all, whom are we thanking? To whom are we giving thanks? Eh? But God Himself. But then we follow up right away in a few days with the feast of Christ the King, the last day of the church year, when we celebrate Christ being the reason for all of our joy, our happiness, any feelings of security we have, any hope we feel in distress, um, any humor, macabre as it sometimes may be, or gallows humor as it might be, in face of big trials, friends, relatives, perhaps dying. We can rejoice because we have a king who is the King of Kings. And we know that, we live in his service until we pass into what some call the next reality, which is to see that King and be with him face to face. So I'd like to spend a few words on the Sunday Gospel. Jesus returns in that Gospel, chapter 25 of Matthew. He returns at the end of time. I just spoke of him as king, but that king is a lowly king, and he is imaged to us in Scripture as a shepherd. And the shepherds were very lowly people. Well, here we find out at the end of Matthew's Gospel that the shepherd, King of Kings, is the one who makes the final decision as to whether we are among his sheep or the goats. Uh, it's almost like Jesus doing a right, a writing down, following a list that he's put together, almost like Santa Claus. Have we been naughty or nice? It's much bigger than that, of course. But the Sunday of seeing Jesus as Shepherd King ties in very closely with the holiday of tomorrow, Thanksgiving. Uh, in the Thanksgiving Gospel, we have 10 lepers being healed by Jesus, with only one returning to give him thanks. Um, we have so many reasons to come back and thank this King Shepherd, over and over and over again. It would seem that the sheep in Matthew's gospel for Sunday were very good at that. They gave him thanks by doing what he said. What he's asked all of us to do in a lifetime. Do you feed the hungry? Yes. I mean, did you at least share your snacks with them? Did you give them clothes when they didn't have clothes? At least did you share one of your coats with them? And yes, yeah, we did that. Were you good to people who were sick, whether that was mental sickness or um, physical sickness, and not just your family, but the old woman down the street who was lonely and suffered from dementia? Did you visit them? Did you care for them at all? Did you go out of your way for them? Yeah. Okay, those are simple questions and simple answers. But then he turns to the goats and asks them, what did you do? And they're like, well, we enjoyed life. We're grateful for life. Well, how did you show your gratitude? The shepherd king is asking them. And they said, well, by just enjoying, I guess. And Jesus asks them the same questions he asked the sheep. Did you feed? Did you clothe? Did you visit? Did you heal? And really, to be honest, the goats mostly had to say, well, not much. And Jesus says, I'm not sure what I can do for you, but you sheep, you come on in. You are good and faithful servants, and I want you home with me. For which, of course, the sheep would be literally eternally grateful. Again, coming back to tomorrow, to Thanksgiving, gratitude. That helps us, that precious virtue, helps us to see what is there, so to speak, rather than what it is not there. And maybe we could say between the sheep and the goats, what is there are people who are in need, and they need us. And we show our gratitude to the King who has given us everything good. Everything good. We show our gratitude by reaching out to those who don't have it so good at all. I don't know if I think I have mentioned this previously, but um, it seems to me some people I know well in the congregation, different families, the people who are most grateful to God for what they have are the people who really are lacking in many ways. They might be lacking in health. They might be lacking in resources, monies, but they use what they have to reach out to others. And almost always, the people who are the worst off are the people most grateful to God. And how that marks us or how that happens, I don't know. But certainly the gratitude attitude is the one we want to be fostering. Um, Not only this week, of course, but for the rest of our lives. Be the one who comes back to Jesus to give thanks, okay? As we navigate our journey with sick and healthy people, maybe we should let our hearts resound with some laughter and, excuse me, and thanksgiving. We should be the people who turn back to Jesus, not for just what we might call a divine high five, well done, and come back, your faith has saved you, come into the kingdom, but maybe to express our thanksgiving for everyday miracles that we often take for granted, including the kind of people I mentioned. They're in your lives and they're in my lives. Those are always seem to be happy, but they're struggling, working at it, even while serving others in gratitude to God. Be the person who turns back not just for um, the seconds of turkey on your plate tomorrow, but for a lifetime of Thanksgiving. Circle back again and again. Anyway, happy Thanksgiving, and may our hearts be as full as our plates during the next week. God bless you. Oops, I have to share. Um, there are three movies that there are many more, but three movies I might suggest for you over this weekend, even with the games going on. They're old movies, but they're really good family favorites. One is Dutch. Another one is soul food. And a third one is an old-fashioned Thanksgiving. Um, See if you can draw those up on their Netflix or whatever. And then a couple of little funnies. Okay, I the turkey crossed the road. You know why? Because he wanted the hunter to think he was a chicken. Okay, do you know what you call a turkey the day after Thanksgiving? Lucky. Bye.